program consists of a special speaker to offer Patriot Talk number 1. These Patriot Talks were a suggestion by Anna, our vice regent, during our board meeting in July, so I can take no credit for this. Our speaker today has been a member of NSDAR for 50 years. I thought you might like to hear her story. I invite Beverly G to come forward.
This certainly is on a lighter note than this.
I have an story, but I appreciate everybody's insight.
Right. I joined the DAR in a little town called Emlenton, which is in western Pennsylvania, about 60 miles north of Pittsburgh. And I joined in 1974. The first thing I need to say is I'm very impressed. I mean, I had a different name then than I do now, and still the DAR at the national level apparently kept track. So I think that is certainly an asset to the association to be able to switch people around. That number that you get when you join stays the same the whole way through, no matter what your name is. So, but I thought that was very, very commendable for the National Association. The chapter that I belonged to was called the Fort Venango chapter. It was chartered in 1923, much later than this chapter. My ancestor was a gentleman by the name of Matthew Riddle. He was a private in the battalion of the Cumberland County Militia. It was commanded by Lieutenant Colonel James Johnson. And he served from 1780 to 1781 in the War of the Revolution. He was an aide on the staff of General George Washington. I joined the DAR mainly because I love local history. I really liked to dabble in genealogy and believed in the principles of the red, white, and blue, the patriotic side of this association. In 74, when I joined, I was a stay-at-home mom with 2 young boys and had time to really participate and give back to my local community. Our chapter was the sponsor of the Memorial Day service, which was held at the cemetery and usually had about 200 people attend. And I was involved as the boys became older, they also were involved in this. They learned to cherish God and country through this DAR event. I was very involved in the 1976 bicentennial celebration in my small town. This was a result of the DAR. I got involved in all aspects of the celebration. I observed the wagon train coming across Pennsylvania. I helped raise funds so our town could have a first-class parade. But one of my favorite memories was my boys dressed up in as colonial soldiers being pulled in a wagon, that our St. Bernard, whose name was Brute, pulling the wagon. It was really fun. They were the hit of the 2-hour parade. Placing flags in our local cemeteries for all the Revolutionary soldiers was a project carried out in my home county. The DAR was assigned 2 cemeteries to decorate with the flags. So when I relocated to Lehigh County in 1992, I, of course, searched to find the DAR chapter. And that was this chapter, the Liberty Bell chapter. But I'm sorry to say that I never have been very active in this chapter. I do try to get to a meeting every couple years, pay my dues diligently. But work always seemed to take so much time, and my outside events don't get the attention that they should. In 1983, I started an association management business, which was called SCS Management. And at the peak of that business, we managed, with my employees, 5 statewide associations, primarily in agriculture and the tourism sectors. In 2020, I plan to retire. My secretary, I found her other work, but my hobby was going to be genealogy, research, and I really, really was looking forward to having time to get all those piles of information and my pictures organized, but it wasn't to be. My passion has always been agriculture. I was raised on a dairy farm, spent 10 years in 4-H. My sister and I put ourselves through college showing cattle at county fairs, and I sort of got bit by what they call the fair bug. I've been involved in county fairs since 1957, and then when I got to Lehigh County, I was involved with the Schnecksville Fair and then the Allentown Fair in 1996. I was in charge of the competitive exhibits and livestock, and I went on their board of directors, then the executive committee, and then I was elected the society president, still managing Ag Hall and the livestock entries. But my retirement never happened. In August of 2020, following the untimely death of our CEO, Ray Huffman, I was named to replace him and still hold that position today. I apologize to you folks for not being more active with you. The Great Allentown Fair is a nonprofit affiliate. I want to mention of the America 250, which I see you people certainly have been involved with. And I've been, the fair is a member and we are working with them. But for our 2026 fair, we definitely will have a patriotic theme and are planning many fair events around this semi-quincentennial event. So as a fair, we thank you for entering this year with your group exhibits, and we hope the Liberty Bell chapter will become even more involved in 2026. So I thank you, and I can't believe it's been 50 years either. So if there's any questions, I'll gladly answer them.